Hello, Internet. I'm HamsterBomb.
I'm the Canadian.
And you guys are back for a, this is kind of different, more of a Smash Brothers discussion video. And what we're going to be talking about today is the infamous Grinch Leak. And more talking about it in context of knowing that it is false. And appreciating the fact that the whole thing had to be staged and the whole world was played for fools. And how much effort went into that. And one big thing that you guys should know going into this is I knew about the whole Grinch Leak going through it and was, of course, on the edge of my seat for the past direct, like everyone else who knew about it. Zach here, the Canadian, managed to avoid this entirely. So this is going to be the first time he's hearing about this, and you'll get some honest reactions to what this leak was and just how we should go about approaching leaks in the future is one thing I want to see, because something could very clearly look like a leak, and I believe this used a psychological trick where, for example, some people will go to a doctor and feign symptoms in order to get the doctor to come to their own realization. And if basically the trick is if the person you're trying to trick comes to the decision themselves, thinks they came up with the idea, then that false information is so much better grounded in their mind. That's what this does, and it does it well. And that takes a lot of work, especially to fool the entire internet for days.
Yeah, no, it's got to be really convincing.
This was very convincing. So I've got a lot of photos here to go through to show you guys. Basically, quickly take you through this in case you did not know about what the Grinch Leak was, just like Zach.
Like me.
And then we'll both experience like what kind of, answers we should come from this, what we should take from this. So what we're looking at here, this is not the leak. This is something that I want to make sure you are familiar with first. So what we're looking at, if you're familiar with the banner that we've been seeing whenever a new direct comes out. There's new characters. The one we're seeing on top here was the first one that showed up. Later in that same direct, you can see Ridley was added to this one. And then lower, we had the other one with Simon Belmont and all the other cast from the next direct, Now, what's important to note about this is the characters, when they're added, they're not being put into a random empty space. They're actually all moving around. Okay, so when you see these characters all being rearranged in order to make up for a better space, for when someone is going to take a new spot, you need the assets of those paintings and the background in order to make another one,
Gotcha.
So that's basically what the banner was. Now, the Grinch Leak, this is exactly what it is,
I just love that it's the Grinch Leak.
I'll show you why it is the Grinch.
That's great.
This is it. And for those of you who can read French and know what that says on the side, I'm sorry. Probably should have warned you. It says something very profane and naughty in French. Something very bad to Nintendo. A little four-letter word we like to know in English. Begins with the letter F, but it's not nice. Let's just say what was implied from this was the person who leaked this was trying to just attack Nintendo. Obviously, you see like a big LOL here. What this is a screenshot kind of put together from a short video that was posted to Snapchat. Okay. Now, this video from Snapchat was quickly taken down. It was not up very long. But of course, if it touches the internet at one point, it is always there. And what happened was people managed to get this screenshot from it, and that is what went crazy.
I see.
Because this screenshot in the corner, well, basically what we can see here is several things. Closer to your head, under the LOL, you can see what looks like printouts of the background, the base background. No characters are on that. These assets have not been given to the public. No one has that.
How did he get a hold of that then, I wonder?
Good question. Aside from that, you can also see a little by me, what is later enhanced below at the bottom, is a character banner. There's characters on that should not be there. Now, I'll zoom in and show you a better view of it later, but for now, this is just the base thing, and I want to further, before we move on, validate some of this stuff. So clearly this looks like it was taken at a printing company.
Right.
It was.
Okay.
It was taken at a printing company where Super Smash Brothers and Nintendo are getting their things printed right now.
Oh.
To verify that, you see a certain character up at the very top, over by your head, over the LOL.
Mm-hmm.
We see a certain green blob and a dog, Max.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, let me see if I can name this right here. Also,
right.
That's the Grinch. Now, funny thing is, the upcoming Grinch film is having a bunch of things printed at this same place right now. And these assets for the Grinch have also not been given to the public. People don't have these yet.
Yeah, I would figure Illumination wouldn't just be giving out their concept art or anything like that right now.
Clearly, at the very least, this is so damning that, to me, the leaker, now we know is the faker,
right,
had to have worked here.
Yeah,
seriously. That's so much effort. And the thing is, the real one could have come through, but they did this anyway. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself on jumping to the fact that it is fake, but this is just the Grinch freaking everybody out.
That is apt right there.
Yes. The memes were real. If you want to see, I don't have time to show all of them. Just Google Smash Brothers Grinch Leak memes, and you will be entertained.
I love
You will not be disappointed.
That is great.
There is a lot. Now, this zoomed in. I'm going to move this so we can both kind of see at the same time. This is about as zoomed in as I can get here to show you. This is a zoomed in version of this, and of course it's super low quality. This was shot. People, of course, are like, "Why is it low quality?" That's the first thing you'd think, right? Because it's a leak. And you're like, "That sounds faked," and that's like one of the only things people thought of. But it had a perfectly good reason. It was from a Snapchat video that was taken down, and someone could only get a still frame of it, and enhancing that still frame can only do so much. So this is what we're looking at, and above us, you might be able to see some characters right now. I have another one that we're going to see in just a bit that actually outlines where they are and names them for you. Some characters in this were seen but weren't really there, which of course it doesn't matter anymore. But those two characters who we thought were there but actually weren't were Skull Kid. Just to kind of point at you right here for you guys who don't see where I'm pointing. It's between the Inkling and I believe that is Roy.
Looks like him, yeah.
You can kind of see, like, the eyes. That's actually not Skull Kid. It's another new character. I'll show you in a minute. Well, supposed new character. And another one was supposedly up in the clouds above where Ken, who ended up getting confirmed, was also shown right here. Those clouds are actually Rob flying to his side, but people really thought that was Cosmos from Xenosaga, which would have been really cool, because that's a PlayStation exclusive, and they went on to do the Xenoblade series, so to represent, like, a whole other franchise they did, that would have been a perfect pick, and to me, way better than doing a Xenoblade 2. You know, because Xenoblade is represented. You could do Xenosaga with Cosmos. No Cosmos, sorry. Either way, it was in the leak anyway, it's not even real. So, the comparison here. I'm going to full screen this because obviously we want to see. For one, I want you to back up. Remember, these characters have moved around in a way that we have never seen them before. Some of them, like characters that are on the main roster, have been placed in different positions on the banner just like they should be. You can't do that without the original art.
Gotcha.
I mean, now, granted, this is low quality, and they could have banked on us, you know, knowing it was going to be low quality to try and do that. But still, that is a fabulous Photoshop job if it is.
For sure.
That is amazing. So, going from left to right, just to show the characters, because I'm sure everybody else on here has seen them. And I feel better, another thing I wanted to point out, I feel better doing this and talking about this now, after the fact, knowing that it's fake, because I didn't want to do this assuming it could have been real. I don't want to be one of those guys who's perpetuating the problem. Because Nintendo is trying to build the hype train themselves. And things like this, because it was looking so real, it really would have ruined a lot of people's expectations.
Yeah, you didn't want to feed into a hype for something that wasn't even going to happen, right?
Or ruin the surprise, which is because I'm going to show you something later that I can't believe they got. Like for this, it's but still, even still, I was so confident. I mean, I was like 90% sure this was real.
Okay.
And I don't like listening to any of these leaks, but this thing exploded because it was so real everywhere.
Right.
So going back to this again, just to look at these characters. Top left, we see Shadow the Hedgehog. Everyone expected Shadow, and probably as a character of his own. If Isabelle is a character of her own too, I would consider Shadow should be, because we all think, his up and B should have been like Mewtwo's, like a Chaos Control teleport.
Right.
Maybe even get a motorcycle like Wario for his over B, just because Sonic's over B is kind of really stupid. It's his down and B and his regular B. It's the same thing, he just spins.
Yeah.
So that could have been a really cool new character. Unfortunately, no, and I don't even think he's going to get a chance later because of what we did get for the actual Direct. We'll talk about that later. Constant one thing after another of basically assist trophy verification. Right. Nope, this one's not getting in. Nope, you're not getting in. You're not getting in. And I think that's why the internet, because there was a huge, huge war over this leak.
Right.
It was Team Real, Team Fake, and it was hardcore. But when the Direct came out, people were so mutually disappointed, all sides, that there was no fighting. People were all like, sure, I might have been on the leakers' side that said, no, the only two characters we're going to get is Ken and Incineroar.
Right.
And that this can't be real. But watching what we got was so sad. No one had the energy to fight. So I guess that's the only upside we got, but that's not much of an upside. So I'm going to try and go through this a little quicker. Banjo-Kazooie is the next one on here. That would have been so awesome.
I know. I loved those games growing up so much.
Banjo-Kazooie was on this. People just wanted to believe because of that alone. That alone was something that, like, people were like, I don't care if it's fake.
Right.
I'm going all in. Banjo-Kazooie's on this. And Rare, owned by Microsoft, unfortunately, who actually bought Rare thinking they were getting Donkey Kong.
Really?
That's why they bought it.
Oh,
but they got Banjo-Kazooie. And since they have the rights to Banjo-Kazooie, we've heard publicly that Rare has given permission, or is totally fine with Banjo being in Smash Brothers, but that's not the end of it, obviously. This has to go through Microsoft, and Microsoft and Nintendo have been a little more buddy-buddy lately, so it's not being so bad. So the chances aren't that awful, but still, I mean, Banjo-Kazooie was on this.
We got King K. Rool, so who knows?
We did, and I'm so glad about that. So moving to the right, I know this is going to hurt you too. Isaac from Golden Sun was right there. And some of the best credibility for this thing involves Isaac. We will come to that later.
Okay.
But Isaac from Golden Sun was also on there. Moving to the right further, we have Ken, who obviously did get confirmed.
Right.
And just to be the biggest troll possible, I don't think Sakurai did this on purpose. The video announcement was probably made way in advance of this leak coming out.
Okay.
But did you notice the first thing we saw was Ken?
Yeah.
So everyone was still on the edge of their seat. This can still be real.
Oh.
Because Ken was in both leaks.
Whoa.
Ken and Incineroar versus Ken and all of this crap.
Oh, no.
And I say crap, but honestly, all these characters would have been so great.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, unfortunately, Isaac, another assist trophy, which basically says, sorry, you ain't even getting in.
Oh, yeah.
But granted, at the very least, he wasn't even assist trophy, I think, in 4, the last game. So at least he's coming back from Brawl. At the very least, he's coming back and he's in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they're working on a new Golden Sun game. So assuming when that comes out, maybe next time.
Dude, I love the Golden Sun series. Some of my favorite RPGs ever.
I know. That's why I knew coming in here that you were going to be real disappointed. And that's why I didn't try spoiling this for you. Because I knew... I knew you loved it so, and Banjo, anyone would love it. I knew if I was responsible for robbing you or anybody of seeing the Direct and getting whatever their video is to really truly announce them, because they do it so well.
Oh, yeah.
If I stole that from someone, if I was responsible, because I know there's too many people online who are shameless about this and are like showing everything that might almost be a leak. Don't do that. And so I didn't want to rob anyone of that because I don't want anyone robbing me of that.
Right.
But granted, I came into seeing this and there's so much information, we'll get back to it.
I would have cried.
So moving to the right, and I love this, where we thought Skull Kid was, that is Mock Rider.
Mock Rider.
Mock Rider.
Who is he? Where's he from?
The NES. So, you know, we get, like, random retro characters, you know, the Ice Climbers and Game & Watch. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. I could go on. But these retro characters, we seem to get, like, 1 or 2 at least every single new game. You can probably count Captain Falcon as the first one. Yeah. Random, what the heck are you thinking, retro character. Yeah. Sakurai likes to keep you on your toes. That's the thing. We just got the Piranha Plant, for crying out loud. So he wants to keep you on your toes, and I like that. That's fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
And in Melee, one of the cut characters for Melee was Excitebike.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right.
So that pulled this up like, oh my god, he's finally making a motorcycle character. Because that would have been an easy, you know, like Olimar Alf, where you change the costume and the name changes. You go Mock Rider, Excitebike, and you go through the different costumes. That would have been perfect.
That would have been great.
New main. I was even telling Kim, new main. I want to fight on a motorcycle. But,
dude.
Unfortunately, like, isn't this... Okay, just from here, this leak is getting better and better. Like,
it gets better?
It gets better.
It gets better.
Like, it doesn't just hurt. So there's 2 more characters on this.
Yeah.
Right there, up there by Jigglypuff, fan favorite requested Geno. Geno from Super Mario RPG.
Everyone's been wanting
Everyone wants Geno. The biggest problem, why is there a problem with Geno?
Square Enix.
He's owned by Square Enix. Doesn't matter that he was in a Mario game on a Nintendo console.
Yep.
That guy is owned by Square Enix. And it's a shame that people request him specifically. I mean, by choosing him, they want a representative of Mario RPG.
Right.
And to that, I kind of wish that the community would say, you know, the RPG series turned into Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Can't we have Paper Mario?
Yeah, something
you know,
like
I don't have a problem with Paper Mario. You know, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. He'd fight like, you know, flat like Game & Watch and have like his own style of stuff, but it goes deeper than that. Geno is like a beloved character from the game, so I get it.
Yeah.
But
that
going through so many hoops to do it, and we all know how Square loves to share their toys.
Oh, very much so.
Like how we got a whopping 2 songs for Cloud's Midgard stage, and were given the end theme for the battle theme for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the victory theme,
And they weren't even allowed to remix it. It just had to play when Cloud won a fight. So Square... And I don't even know how much money had to go into buying them out for that. And what really baffles me is for the Everyone Is Here to work, Cloud... Square Enix had to be paid out in full beforehand. Because, I mean, he was a DLC last time, which I get. Because they had to pay probably all of that to Square.
The licensing fee on that, jeez.
Awful. But one last character. And this goes in Smash Leak history. I don't know if you're aware of this one. The next character on the far right, a little bit below Geno, to the right of Villager, is the Chorus Kids. Now... If you know who they are, you can see them very clearly right there. Do you know who the Chorus Kids are?
No.
Okay. Do you know the game Rhythm Heaven?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes. There's one little set of 3 boys.
Yeah.
With bow ties, fangs, and they sing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The game is basically touch and hold the screen to shut your yap. And when you let go, he sings. And you gotta, it's a rhythm game. Yeah. That's it. He's in one minigame. In one random DS game. And if you're gonna pick any of them, that's the most obscure thing you could ever do. Now, the idea was, there was a big famous leak that was happening for Smash 4, and it involved them.
Oh.
So, it was all about saying, these guys are in the game. And now, of course, someone was really trolling the internet. But since then, they've been this super strange cult following that people are, like, always joking. Because they're if you're going to list a character that will never get in... people say, the Chorus Kids. So to see this, it was like the biggest hilarious thing that Sakurai's like, oh, no you didn't. Challenge accepted. Wow. And bam, Chorus Kids would have been in the game. Sure. I don't know how. Probably with like a bunch of crazy Rhythm Heaven attacks.
Yeah.
It would have been hilarious, and I'm sure he could have figured it out.
Yeah,
I mean, for crying out loud, we got Isabelle, you know, and they figured how to do Animal Crossing characters. So, that was the banner that leaked in that picture. So, or really a video that was pulled out of a picture. So much effort already went into this, and we went over the photoshopping and the nonsense there.
Oh, yeah.
Let me show you because there's a ton of things that people went into. I feel kind of bad about how far the internet went on this. They went full-on detective. They figured out who this guy was. They figured out where he worked. All of it. And honestly, everything checked out.
Oh, wow.
So, the only thing that was against this was the fact that there were other leakers who supposedly worked at Nintendo, and they were different people, and they all said the last two characters are going to be Ken and Incineroar. So those people, it was basically their word against this incredible leak.
Right, some that look very realistic. I mean, how can you argue against that?
Yeah, and I've got more, aside from, like I said, there's a ton of other little quirky things of proof that, like, look at that, because this was set up so that as you discover, like I said, this was done by a guy who works at the printing company at the same time that the Grinch, you know, like, how do you get the Grinch stuff there, too? Right. I still don't know how this was made. And that's another reason why I wanted to go back and make this video. It's just so amazing. Now, here's something that when I saw this next piece of evidence, I was, like, all in. Like,
oh, no.
No way that this is fake. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Now, here.
Hit me with it.
All right, so you remember, not this, obviously, this last direct, but the one before. Do you remember the one before?
Yeah.
Okay, so that direct was delayed.
Yes.
Remember why?
Yeah, no, I remember why. It was because of the earthquake that just happened in Hokkaido. Yeah.
Right, there was an earthquake in Japan. Wouldn't, you know, at the same time, Sakurai, of course, right after this event, because they had to delay it a week, he came out and said that because of this, they had to alter the video. Because obviously, like, you have to change some dates and stuff.
Yeah.
But he never said what exactly they had to do.
Right.
Well, let me show you one thing. So, right after, in that direct, which was kind of disappointing, honestly, because we only got Isabelle. We were all expecting Smash Brothers stuff for over a week.
Yeah.
And we're all like, oh my god, what is it going to be? And then it's basically just a glorified Animal Crossing announcement. And,
there are those people, though, who really appreciated that.
Oh, I know. There were people who cried literal tears of joy, and I get it. I mean, I'm not one of them, but if people want a character that bad, I am not going to say, you don't belong in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, get out of here.
No, and I don't look at anybody and say, you don't belong in Smash Brothers. I'm more like, the more the merrier. Even though I don't really like them, say like Incineroar. I love Pokemon. I don't like Incineroar.
I don't know who that guy is.
But welcome to the team, buddy. That's all I got to say. You know, sure, we could have much betters, but I don't care. That's all that matters. So, right after that direct went live, obviously, Nintendo posted the new banner.
Right.
Okay. Now, on the banner that they posted, there was this weird little awkward crop job mistake on it.
Right.
Now, I'm going to show you a GIF.
Okay. That's
going to flash between what Nintendo showed us and that exact same spot on the Grinch Leak. Okay? It's going to flash between them. So right here, I want you to look at the clear one first. Okay, try and focus on this. Yeah. You can see Little Mac's fist, right? His glove is like almost cropped off completely.
Wow, yeah.
Captain Olimar is not even there anymore, okay?
Yeah.
And he's like got some of his like helmet is clipped off.
Yeah, yeah.
Look who is supposed to be at that exact same spot, who happens to be cropped right out of that photo. Why again was that direct delayed? An earthquake. Yeah. Who fights primarily with earthquakes? This right here is so credible. Like, how could they have possibly predicted that? Right where that crops off.
That is
exactly, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And this is another reason why I really didn't want to tell you. Because the best evidence was for one of your favorite characters for going into this. I was like, okay, this is going on a whole other level of real that...
Oh, no.
For one, going back to how they faked this, I have no freaking idea how they did that. Now, this is either like they saw that instant and went, I got an idea. But here's the thing. Like I said, remember the analogy I made at the beginning with the doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, this is perfect evidence of this. Because when you see this, you put it together and say, that's why the direct was delayed, because they had to cut that character. You can't show a character who's doing all their attacks with, you know, earthquake-based moves right after that. No, I get that. But the thing is, another thing someone else has pointed out, when something like that happens in Japan, say for an anime, you don't just wait till later to show the episode of that anime.
Right.
You ban the episode. They cut it completely. It's actually very possible Isaac was supposed to be probably one of the DLC characters or something that they were working on, but instead, kerpow, he was completely cut from the game. Now, that's just a theory, because obviously later he was shown as an assist trophy, which
fine.
Of course he could have easily been repurposed to an assist trophy, because he's got a totally new model with a new attack, right? So we don't really know.
That made me happy when I saw that, at least.
At the very least, he got that. I mean, I'm glad that... See, that's the thing. That's what I wanted to hear. I'm glad that when you saw Isaac as an assist trophy, you were happy.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of me, who saw it and was, like, borderline depressed.
Yeah.
I didn't even play Golden Sun, and that hurt.
No, if I had seen...
That hurt.
If I had seen that Grinch Leak, and if I had seen Isaac in there...
And Shadow, here's the thing. When they go through the assist trophies, when they showed in the Direct, watch that again. They go, Shadow, Isaac, Springman. They're just, like, going right through, crushing people's hopes and dreams. And Skull Kid, another huge one everyone wanted, he was announced not even on the Direct. You had to go on the website and scroll down to the bottom. Skull Kid was suddenly there. Just totally hurting everyone's hopes here.
I would have been a broken man that day.
So this next thing I want to show you was some evidence, because I wanted to show you something very credible, and this was something that was making people go, this was the only, only thing making us think.
Okay.
So here's a side-by-side later after the Grinch Leak happened. Someone did show... it was a picture, I think it leaked from Nintendo, but it was just this background image, okay? The bottom one is the real one. The top one is from the Grinch Leak, okay?
Right.
Now, if you look at the circled areas, there are differences. Some of them, like, I want to say A and G are very subtle and might have been changed, but there's some, like, H and B, things that are just blatantly not there, or C, where, the waterfall looks very different.
Right.
Some of that looks, the top one looks like a Photoshop job.
Yeah.
A little bit. But granted, how do you do that and remove all of the characters?
You've got me.
You have to paint it. There's no other... You have to just make the whole thing in Photoshop.
You just have to have that
I teach Photoshop in college, okay? That's amazing, okay? That is a serious professional who made that, okay?
Oh,
but still, that should make you think. And it did. That's why I said I wasn't totally in. I was 90-10. That 10 was thinking of this, because this still is But, I mean, I see that and I go back like, but this is that right there.
Yeah.
Caught you red-handed, Nintendo. That one I'm looking at like, No. But, still, as of now, we still don't know what that's about, that little clip.
Yeah.
It could just be a wild coincidence that it happens to be at the same point where, Little Mac's glove was cut and all that.
I mean, mistakes happen.
Also, they had to put this together very quickly. So it's possible, what the theory was they didn't have the asset ready with Isabelle and no Isaac. So they had to do a really quick crop job, get rid of Isaac. Because you can't put him there on the website, right? It's either show no new Isabelle on it, or they were screwed, right? So that's what we assumed. But, of course, that's not what happened. But instead, what happened? The Direct happened, and Incineroar crushed everyone's hopes and dreams. And though
I was just confused, I didn't know who that was. So
yeah, I mean, well, just of the choice of Pokemon, because I brought this up earlier, everyone was expecting Decidueye, who's the Owl Archer.
Yeah.
And I think what happened was they chose the character like Greninja. They chose the character before the games really came out and got popular. So they were like, we got to put in a new Pokemon. Let's do another starter. That's easy. Because we don't know which one's going to be popular. And starters are always popular, right?
Yeah.
And this one, to be fair, is based on a wrestler.
That's very true.
That makes perfect sense. Now, the reason everyone wanted Decidueye instead was because he's an archer. He's going to fight so different. He's going to bring something new to the table.
Right.
Also, we got Charizard, final fire stage. We got Greninja, final water stage.
Yeah.
We were all expecting that grass. Everything was pointing towards Decidueye. If a Pokemon at all, but honestly, in my opinion, we didn't even need a 10th Pokemon. This is the 10th Pokemon. Pokemon Trainer is 3. That's 3.
Yeah,
okay?
That's true.
If Kirby can copy it, it's a character. That's what I consider. And unfortunately, this incident was what we got. So, what happened, what you would say, would probably be a lot of merciless hate.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I had to go all in my my Grinch memes.
I
because
appreciate it.
This is so perfect.
It is.
And so this is exactly what happened. But the thing is, there was so much, like I said before, mutual just sadness. It was depressing.
Yeah.
The internet just went silent. And it wasn't just because of, you know, the Grinch Leak not being true. That's not it at all. It's the fact that knowing, instead of getting, you know, 7 of anybody, even no matter how you felt about them, we're getting 2 characters. One's an Echo.
Yeah.
And the other one is a Pokemon no one really asked for. And here's another thing about adding another Pokemon.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That's something you should get out of the way first. You know, if you're going to save a character for last, who on the new roster should it be? You probably should have saved Ridley. You probably should have saved King K. Rool. You should have... Richter and Simon, you should have blown our minds at the last minute.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we did get PD Piranha. Or, Piranha Plant, I'm sorry. And that was hilarious, though at the same time, you know how, like, you try and tell a joke to somebody who's depressed, and, like, even though it's a hilarious joke, they're just not laughing. You know, they just can't do it. You can't cheer them up.
No.
A lot of the internet's like that right now with the Piranha Plant, and they're looking at him like the culprit, like, you robbed my character of this place, which don't do that. No. You know, I see that as, like, someone who worked in the office and, like, thought this really funny idea was, like, sketching up, like, move sets. Went to soccer and, like, hey, man, like, I got an idea for a Piranha Plant, and he was like, screw it. And
do it.
They went for it. And, you know, that's awesome. I'm glad that stuff like that can happen because it keeps us on our toes. The best part about that reveal, to me, it reminded me of playing Melee. And something that never happened since then. I don't know if you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, but when I was playing Melee, not all the characters were revealed in Melee. You were genuinely playing that game and going, all of a sudden you're just playing the game and a match ends and you see a shadow, new challenger approaching, and you're like, holy crap, Mewtwo is in this game? Ganondorf? How do I fight Ganondorf? And that's what that game was like. You know, it kept me on my toes, and I was, like, freaking out, so excited. And then, you know, I loved Brawl with the dojo, you know, slowly revealing everything before it came out. We were getting surprised. It was cool. This one, same deal, and same for the 4th game. You know, we got everything, of course, you know, but... Never again since Melee have I been truly surprised by a character. So that I want to make sure people don't, like, you know, take these leaks too far. No. Just enjoy what we got. And I know that's hard because a lot of soul crushing went on in that direct. But at the very least, we did get a hilarious surprise. So moving on from all of the hate. At the same time, like I said, you have to accept what we got, right? Yeah. And besides, this guy is just awesome. Yes. You know, there's too many people online who see this and get angry.
No.
You know? And it makes me so sad because what I'm seeing here, what Piranha Plant means to me is they are still creative and they are willing to do something that you will never expect, not just to surprise you, but to make something really inventive and cool for the gameplay. Yeah, because he doesn't fight like anybody else in that game. He's so weird and quirky, and that's the point.
And I've just now found out that Piranha Plants have always had little feet just hiding inside those little pipes.
Itty bitty little feet, just like scuttling down underneath. So, if there's any final thing, I want to pull up in here. Yeah. Because I know that like there was a lot of people who are depressed about that direct, and it's not just about the things we've covered. Of course, people were really, really excited about Spirits Mode and what it might be. That could be a whole other discussion in itself. But they were, let's just say, generally the reaction is depressed. And honestly, watching it the first time, I was too. After the fact, as it's soaked in a bit, I'm kind of liking it. I'm thinking, okay, it's not so bad. I'm sure when I play it, I'll love it. So there's that. And one final thing. That is an amazing roster. Yes. And that is the base game, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that is incredible. And at the very least, I know it's not much, but we do have Mii fighters that you can customize, and I'm sure they're going to be making extra outfits for characters that you want to include yourself. So technically, that roster is limitless if you really want to think of it that way, but at the very least, that is an amazing roster. And you know, one more thing. Okay. They had me at Ridley.
Oh, for sure.
Well, actually, I'm gonna go back. They technically had me the instant Solid Snake started electrocuting himself. You're like, his little cloaking device thing was wearing off, right? That second, Kim was sitting here next to me, and she had to recoil away from my screaming. And, of course, it had to be on his screen, too, on the direct when they say, everyone is here. Yeah. At that point, I don't think I sat for the rest of the direct. I don't think my jaw ever hit lip again. So, they really went overboard with making sure we were hyped as hell.
Yeah, for
from the first moment this went on. And, see, that's the thing. Those directs up to that point were hitting it home so hard. People really believed that leak would have been real. Because, they would have been like, Sakurai came out and said, don't get your hopes up too much. There's not that many characters left.
Right.
He's known to be a liar to us. And that would have been so amazing. Not only was he lying, there's 7 more characters. Yeah. Banjo freaking Kazooie. Isaac. There's so much in that would have been amazing. But I know. So, I'm glad I didn't tell you earlier. I'm glad we can at least discuss it later after the fact. For any few people who managed to avoid that, at the very least, we got to go through the story and put it to rest. Yep. And at least admire, now that it's done, admire how much work went into that. Oh, yeah. That's amazing. To one, fool the whole internet, who is all going hardcore detective.
Oh, yeah. No, if the internet puts its mind to it, it can solve any problem or any riddle.
Really, if you want to go into it and deeper, you can read all sorts of stuff that people were doing looking into this company. The company had even released certain documents and talked about certain things, and it all sounded exactly like Nintendo was on their butts. And it... Because, all of it. I don't even know what to say anymore because the rest of it is just... It all just screamed, oh my god, the entire roster just leaked, and it's so cool. Yeah. It's so cool. It would have been. And, like I said, I don't want to make this whole video the game would have been so cool. The game is cool. The game is amazing.
For sure.
But, of course, it was just the timing of all of this.
It's the wishful thinking,
Exactly, and that's what hurt it. And it's the fact that so many times the internet kept being tricked masterfully with that psychological scam. And we all fell for it. And, but, whatever. We still have Smash Brothers to look forward to, and man, listen to this. Yeah, what's up? It is coming out in less than a month.
Yeah,
it's coming out in less than a month.
Oh, so, wow.
I know, just that alone, that's got to make you excited at least. Well, so at the very least, we have one more video. We're not done with doing Smash Brothers discussions. We have one more, and it's not about spirits. I know we mentioned that, but it's going to be coming very soon. We want to discuss the upcoming possibilities of the DLC characters.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Very excited about that. That's going to be a lot more fun than what may be heart-wrenching is what this is. Though, I don't know, some DLC truth might be heart-wrenching as well, just because of what happened during that assist trophy reveal. But regardless, we'll talk more about it later. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember to like the videos and subscribe for more, and we will see you all in the next video.
See you later, guys.
Bye.